All right, so get this. Today we're doing a deep dive into another podcast episode.
Okay.
Talk about meta, right?
Uh-huh.
It's called Dream Your World Within.
Okay.
But we're not just listening to it. We are really going to put it under the microscope.
I'm intrigued. It's an interesting title for sure, and you know, the premise that we can shape our reality with our thoughts. I mean, that's appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But as with anything that sounds a little too easy, I'm ready to sort of like dig into, you know, the how and the why.
Yeah, exactly. How does this actually work?
Yeah.
So the big idea in this Dream Your World Within episode is that our thoughts, especially when they're fueled by a really strong belief, can actually influence reality, like what happens to us in the real world.
Right.
And they talk about visualization as a key tool. So basically picturing your desired future, like really vividly picturing it as if it's already happening.
Interesting. You know, on the surface, that might sound like wishful thinking, but there's actually a surprising amount of research that supports the idea of like the mind-body connection.
Really?
Like think about the placebo effect, right?
Okay.
People are given a sugar pill and they experience real changes.
Wow.
Simply because they believe it's medicine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to tell you something.
That's really powerful. Yeah. So it's like our brains don't really know the difference between like a vivid imagination in real life.
Yeah, in a way.
And speaking of vivid, the podcast episode really emphasizes this idea of engaging all of your senses. So like, don't just see your dream job.
Yeah.
But like, feel the satisfaction of having it, hear the congratulations from your coworkers, maybe even smell the fancy coffee in your new office. Like, they really want you to get into it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's about creating this immersive experience for your mind.
Yeah.
Right? Like almost like tricking it into believing that your desired outcome is more attainable.
Yeah.
And this isn't just some new age theory either.
Okay.
Athletes, for example, have been using visualization techniques for decades to improve their performance.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
They were ahead of the curve. The episode even mentioned Olympians, like picturing their routine, like down to the smallest detail.
Right.
Feeling the medal being put around their neck and then going out and doing it. Okay, but I do have to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Yeah.
Is all this visualization really more than just positive daydreaming?
Right.
Like, what's the secret sauce that turns those mental images into like actual tangible results?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And Dream Your World Within touches on a very, very crucial point. And that is the importance of linking those visions to concrete actions.
Oh, okay.
So it's not enough to just imagine that promotion.
Yeah.
You need to back it up with the work ethic, the skills, the networking.
Okay.
It's about aligning your actions with your aspirations.
So it's not just if you build it, they will come. It's more like visualize the blueprint, gather the materials. You got to start laying those bricks.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that while our thoughts are powerful, they're not magic wands.
Right.
We still need to put in the effort.
So less passive wishing and more active creating.
Precisely. And this is where this Dream Your World Within idea gets really, really interesting, because it's not just about like the external actions.
Okay.
It's about the internal shifts as well.
Got it.
Especially when it comes to self-belief.
Okay. Yeah, they talk about overcoming self-doubt.
Right.
And flipping a switch in your brain to believe in your own potential, even if you haven't achieved it yet.
It's about recognizing that our beliefs about ourselves, our abilities, our limitations, those things are not set in stone.
Okay.
They can be shifted, they can be molded.
So it's not just about positive affirmations in the mirror, like, I am worthy of this promotion, even if, like, deep down I'm drowning in imposter syndrome.
Well, affirmations can be a good starting point.
Okay.
But it's about going deeper than that.
Okay.
It's about examining the evidence, challenging those limiting beliefs, and then replacing them with more empowering ones.
So it's about like rewiring our internal dialogue, almost like we're debugging our own thought patterns.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Okay. So it's like we're giving ourselves a mental upgrade. We're swapping out these outdated self-sabotaging beliefs for something way better.
Yeah.
I like it. But how do we actually do that? Because just telling myself to believe in something, like, it doesn't always make it stick, you know?
You're absolutely right. It's not always easy. The podcast episode kind of breezes past this part, but cultivating self-belief, that's often an ongoing process. It's about recognizing those negative thought patterns as they come up and actively choosing a different perspective.
So less like flipping a switch and more like retraining a really stubborn puppy.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. You got to be consistent. You got to be patient.
Exactly. And this is where this whole growth mindset idea comes in.
Okay.
Which, Dream Your World Within mentions.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really explore in detail. Have you heard of Carol Dweck's work?
Vaguely. Yeah. Refresh my memory.
Okay, so Dweck's research is fascinating. She found that people tend to approach challenges in one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
With a fixed mindset.
Okay.
Or a growth mindset.
Got it.
So someone with a fixed mindset, they believe that their abilities are basically set in stone.
Oh, okay.
Like they're either good at something or they're not.
Right.
And failure is seen as a threat.
Yeah.
A sign of their inherent limitations.
Ouch. Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for self-doubt for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so a growth mindset is the opposite of that.
Precisely. A growth mindset embraces challenges.
Okay.
Sees them as opportunities for learning and growth.
Got it.
Setbacks aren't seen as failures,
Yeah.
but as feedback. Now, this isn't about some, like, Pollyanna-ish belief that anyone can be anything they want if they just try hard enough.
Right.
It's about recognizing that our abilities are malleable, that we can learn, we can grow,
Right.
and we can become more than we are today.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So someone with a growth mindset is more likely to bounce back from a setback, learn from it, try again.
Exactly. They're more likely to see that failed project not as some reflection of their inherent worth, but as data, information that they can use to improve the next time. They're less likely to get paralyzed by the fear of failure because they see failure as a stepping stone, not a dead end.
Wow. That's a complete game changer. No wonder Dream Your World Within really emphasizes this idea of embracing challenges, of seeing setbacks as just part of the journey.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Right? If you truly believe that you can learn and grow,
Yeah.
setbacks become less about defeat and more about iteration.
Yeah.
You're constantly refining, adapting, getting closer to that vision that you have.
Yeah, so it's like that Thomas Edison quote, like, I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. Okay, this is all starting to click.
Okay.
But I'm curious, this whole Dream Your World Within concept, it's not just about personal growth, though, is it? They talk about the environment, our environment.
You're absolutely right. It's not enough to just cultivate the right mindset and take action in a vacuum.
Right.
Our environment plays a huge role in shaping our beliefs, our behaviors, and ultimately our results.
Yeah, it's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Exactly. And it's not just about like the people we surround ourselves with. It's also the information we consume, the places we frequent, the experiences that we expose ourselves to.
Oh, interesting.
Dream Your World Within touches on this idea of curating your informational diet.
Ooh, I like that. Informational diet.
Yeah.
So like being mindful of what we're feeding our minds, just like hopefully we're mindful of what we're feeding our bodies.
Precisely. Are you scrolling through social media?
Right.
It's filled with negativity and comparison.
Yeah.
Are you constantly bombarded with news headlines that are just designed to like trigger fear and anxiety? I mean, that stuff takes a toll.
It does.
It takes a toll on your mental landscape.
It's like emotional junk food. Like it's tasty in the moment, but ultimately it leaves you feeling kind of drained and not good.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it's the difference between, I don't know, hanging out in like a beautifully curated art gallery versus like a dumpster fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
One is nourishing, the other one's not.
Right. One nourishes your soul, the other one leaves you feeling, depleted.
Totally. Okay, so Dream Your World Within is reminding us that creating this supportive environment, it's not just about decluttering our physical space. It's about being intentional about the information and the energy that we're letting into our mental space as well.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, which is actually a perfect segue to what I kind of wanted to touch on next, which is the people part of this whole equation.
Right.
Because let's face it, even with the best mindset, the most carefully curated informational diet, having a supportive network or not having one, I mean, that can really make or break our dream.
Absolutely. I mean, we're potential creatures, whether we like it or not.
Right.
And the people we surround ourselves with, I mean, they have a profound impact on our beliefs and our behaviors.
Yeah.
Remember Dweck's research on fixed versus growth mindsets?
Yeah.
Well, she found that our social circles can actually reinforce one or the other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if you're hanging out with a bunch of negative Nancys, you know,
Right.
and they're just constantly shooting down every idea that you have, like every ambitious idea that could be seriously detrimental to your dream, your world within journey.
It's like trying to run a marathon while you're carrying around a backpack full of rocks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who believe in you, who challenge you to grow, who offer you support, encouragement, I mean, that's like having a tailwind, you know?
It's like having your own personal cheering section.
Yeah.
Like reminding you of how awesome you are, even when you don't feel it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. This has been such an eye-opening deep dive, even for someone like me who, you know, I'm kind of knee-deep in this self-improvement stuff all the time.
Right.
So as we wrap up here, like what is the main takeaway that you're hoping that our listener will walk away with?
That's a great question. I think the most important message, the one that kind of underpins everything that we've been talking about, is that, you know, we are not passive bystanders in the unfolding of our own lives.
Yeah.
We have agency.
Yes. I like that.
You know, we have the power to shape our reality through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, and even the environments that we choose to inhabit.
I love that. Yeah, it's about reclaiming our power.
Exactly.
Because it's so easy to feel like at the mercy of our external circumstances.
It really is.
But this whole dream your world within, this concept, it reminds us that we actually have more control than we realize.
We really do.
Yeah.
And it's not about, you know, denying the very real challenges and limitations that we all face.
Right.
But it's about recognizing the power that we do have.
Yeah.
You know, within those constraints, it's about showing up as the architects of our own experience, you know, brick by metaphorical brick.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And on that very empowering note, I think it's time for our final thought. So we covered a lot of ground here today. I mean, from visualization and mindset shifts to the power of our environment, our supportive relationships, all that good stuff. But if there's one thing I want our listener to remember, it's this. You don't have to have it all figured out to get started.
I love that.
Right.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. So often we get stuck in this like analysis paralysis. We're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan.
Right.
But the truth is there's no better time than now to just start aligning your reality with your aspirations.
Couldn't agree more. Even small steps, if you take them consistently, I mean, that can lead to incredible results over time.
Yeah.
It's really about trusting the process,
Yeah.
you know, and enjoying the journey.
So there you have it. Your permission slip to dream big, believe in your own potential, and to take bold action towards the life that you want to create. Until next time, keep diving deep, and remember, the power to shape your world lies within you.